What's going on? It's Bradley with Allaqcess Sports, and this is week 5 of our NFL Pick'em on ESPN. And guys, we've crept into the top 52% of America. There's a couple of things that have become very clear. Number 1, fade us if you want to make a lot of money. And 2, Panthers, the Bears, the Giants offensive line, the Vikings defense, the Commanders, the Broncos, they're all terrible. I mean, just the absolute worst. People always joke and say, I think the best college team could beat an NFL team. It might be the year. I'm just kidding, guys. That would never happen. But we are into the top 50% of all people in America, so we're going to continue to improve those numbers. We're not going to get too deep into this Thursday Night Football because by the time you're watching this, it's already going to have happened. Give me Washington Commanders minus 6.5. I think they do win by a touchdown, but nothing more than that. It's going to actually be a closer game than we think. Jacksonville Jaguars are going up against the Buffalo Bills. They're staying in London for a second week in a row. The Bills are going to be a little bit jet lagged. The extra sleep being over there for a little bit longer, the Jaguars are going to have an advantage, but the Bills just look that good. The Texans were able to have their way against this Jacksonville team. There weren't too many sacks made by Jacksonville's defense. Buffalo Bills are way better than that. Give me the Bills minus 5.5. I can't believe I'm saying this. One of these teams is going to be over 500 at week 5 in the season. If you would have asked me earlier in the year, there's going to be the Texans with CJ Stroud and the weapons that he had, I'd be like, maybe, but they have to prove a lot to me. And they've done just that. On the flip side, the Falcons, you look at Desmond Ridder and you're like, he's not a passer. They're going to run the ball. Bijan Robinson looks like he's going to be an excellent player for them. But they still have a lot to prove on defense with a new revamped guys. They could struggle early. Lo and behold, one of these teams is going to be 3-2. Actually, this game could be a tie and they both be 2-1. CJ Stroud has not yet thrown an interception in the NFL. Atlanta Falcons have been absolute ball hogs. I think Jesse Bates has like 4 interceptions on the season, which is something insane like that. I think that trend could continue. Obviously, if Atlanta is able to get a couple of turnovers, they have a really good rushing attack against the Houston Texans team that struggled against it last year, has improved this year. They're still not excellent against the run, but I think CJ's just going to get it done. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, give me Dalton Schultz in this one, and it'll maybe sprinkle in a little bit Dameon Pierce. But CJ Stroud, Nico Collins connection is for real, and I'm sorry I dropped him in fantasy football after week 3. Detroit Lions against the Carolina Panthers, my Carolina Panthers. You see it behind me, and they are absolutely terrible. The offensive line cannot block. They have so many injuries on defense. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up. They ran for over 300 yards against the Detroit Lions team last season, kept them out of the playoffs. I think the Lions come in hot and angry. I don't care how much of a revenge game you think this is going to be for DJ Chark. Detroit Lions are coming to smash you in the mouth. Jameson Williams is back. I'm not as sold on Jameson Williams as everyone else is. Everyone thinking he's going to come through and just be this masterful piece. They already have Amon Ra. They already have Sam Laporta. They already have Jahmyr Gibbs catching balls out of the backfield. It might eat into Jahmyr Gibbs' touches a little bit, unfortunately for me, who has him in fantasy football and shouldn't be going to David Montgomery. But I digress. Jameson Williams will be a little bit of an improvement for the wide receiving room, but I don't think the Panthers have anywhere near the offensive firepower that the Lions have. Lions at 8.5. Give me that. Anthony Richardson could have his best passing game yet as an Indianapolis Colt. And I say that because Tennessee Titans defensive backs are absolutely trash. I haven't seen them all season. They're on the back of milk cartons because no one can find them. Now, they're very good against the run. If you have Zach Moss on your bench, leave him there this week. Anthony Richardson's going to be the only one running when he gets into trouble because they are able to create a little bit of pressure. But those defensive backs, I don't think are going to get it done. Anthony Richardson at times looks like he can't hit the broadside of a barn. If he fell out of a boat into the water, he would miss. But he's able to just make plays, and I think he's going to get it done. Derrick Henry coming alive, but getting less than 50% of the snaps because they're resting him for later on in the year. We'll see how the season goes. Tajay Spears actually outsnapped him, I believe, 2 of the last 3 weeks, or 3 of the first 4 weeks of the season, I should say, dealing with a little bit of a toe injury. Indianapolis Colts, they could fall behind early, and then they get Derrick Henry going. But we've seen time and time again, Anthony Richardson's able to make some plays happen. He's top 10 in the NFL in fantasy points scored by quarterbacks, and he's only played 10 quarters. Give me the Colts to win by at least a field goal. Yeah, I'll take the Dolphins. Now, I don't care if Saquon Barkley's back. Give me the Dolphins. New Orleans Saints, I don't think should be the dogs in this one. The New England Patriots, we've talked about it all year. I am not a Mac Jones believer. I've turned a lot of corners on some of these quarterbacks that I wrote off. I admit when I'm wrong. Baker Mayfield, I didn't think was going to be very good. He's turned it around. Russell Wilson, I thought he would be improved. He hasn't. Mac Jones just gets exception after exception after exception. This New Orleans Saints defense is for real. They're good at stopping the run, and they're better at locking down your wide receivers. Wide receivers that the New England Patriots don't really have an elite set of. Demario Davis, the middle linebacker for the New Orleans Saints, hasn't missed a tackle all season. And if you are on Twitter and you saw the video of Jordan Love juking him at the goal line to score a touchdown and he completely whiffed on the tackle, you know what I'm talking about. That's a good linebacking core, man. Give me the Saints to win this one. Pittsburgh Steelers are another week closer to getting Deontay Johnson back. It's going to be a real boost. It's something that they absolutely need. Not sure if Kenny Pickett's going to be a go. I'm leaning the Baltimore Ravens right now. That offense hasn't looked good, but that defense looks really good. This is going to be a slow, slobber knocker kind of football game. Lamar Jackson's going to do just enough to get it done because him and Mark Andrews are looking like they're on the same page once again. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I'm going to go with America. The 75% of you, I'm just letting you know that I picked this game, so that means it's going to be the Steelers. All right, be honest. All you guys that invested in Puka Nacua early on in the season and spent 35-40% of your auction money, how are you feeling now that Cooper Kupp's going to be coming back? Did you overspend on Puka? We'll have to wait and see. It could be a hamstring injury that lingers for the entire season. But this Philadelphia Eagles defense and team and as a whole is 4-0 for a reason. They're one of the best teams in the league. They're one of the most well-rounded teams in the league. They get a lot of pressure. They create a lot of turnovers. They run the ball well. They have the little tush push for Jalen Hurts, which, has kind of thrown a red flag by the NFL recently for a little bit of a weird offensive line setup, but their wide receivers are still good, and they aren't even touching the ball that much from Jalen Hurts because they haven't needed to do a whole lot. I think the Philadelphia Eagles thus far in the season, even though they are 4-0, have underachieved as an offensive staff from what we thought they would be, and the LA Rams have overachieved from what we thought they would be without Cooper Kupp. I think it kind of level sets this week. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win by a touchdown, generating a couple of turnovers and getting pressure in Matthew Stafford's face. I think when he does have pressure, that's when he kind of gets into some mistakes. Y'all want to watch this game? If you had to watch a game and it was either going to be Thursday Night Football with the Commanders and the Bears or the Bengals with or without Joe Burrow and the Arizona Cardinals of this season, which one are you choosing? Personally, I'm taking the Bears Commanders. I think Justin Fields can still be a little exciting. Joe Burrow's got to get it going eventually. The Cardinals have really outperformed what a lot of people thought they were going to be, being 1-3. It's kind of weird to say that someone has outperformed when they're still just 1-3, but they beat the Cowboys. Joe Burrow, listen, you have two of the best weapons in the league. T. Higgins dealing with a little bit of a rib injury, which is going to hinder this, but they are pretty deep at the wide receiver position. Tyler Boyd should step in nicely. Just throw the ball down the field. Jamar Chase has said, I'm always open. Just throw it out there and see what happens. Do what Kirk Cousins does with Justin Jefferson. If you missed the video clip of him, he said, Justin, how could I have thrown that touchdown pass a little bit better? And he said, just throw it my way. I'll catch it. And he's proven that. He has, 43 targets on the season and hasn't had a drop. Pick it up and throw it to Jamar Chase. Let him do his thing. How are there so many bad games happening this week? Zach Wilson leads the New York Jets into Denver as 2.5-point dogs. Russell Wilson going up against a difficult defense. Zach Wilson going up against no defense. Who do you trust? Give me Robert Saleh to create some turnovers. Zach Wilson is going to continue to improve. It's easy to improve when you're at the bottom, to go from the bottom up a couple positions, than it is to go from the top 5 to number 4. So Zach Wilson going from the 40th best quarterback to the 30th best quarterback is pretty easy. You just have to do enough against this Denver Broncos team. Jerry Jeudy seems unhappy. He looks like he could be a trade piece. Cortland Sutton hasn't been great this season. Marvin Mims has been extremely efficient for them, but the Jets are going to get into Russell Wilson's face before Mims has time to get down the field. So with that, give me the New York Jets to win this one. See, this is a game I want, man. The Kansas City Chiefs putting up a ton of points against this terrible Minnesota Vikings team. And then the Minnesota Vikings, if they can slow down George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, it looks like Nick Bolton might still be out in this one. So get your bids in for Drew Tranquill early. I think this one is going to absolutely smash the over. I don't care how bad this offensive line is, and Kirk Cousins is going to get sacked 6-7 times every single game this season. He's going to continue to get Justin Jefferson involved, Jordan Addison, KJ Osborne. Well, maybe not last week, but I think the difference maker in this one is going to be TJ Hawkinson and then Justin Jefferson. Cam Akers came on strong last week. Look for him to continue to slowly eat into that Alexander Madison mix. I don't think it makes a big enough of a difference. I'm not drafting either one of them in fantasy. They'll keep it close, but Kansas City Chiefs against this Minnesota Vikings defense, give me Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce all day. Another good game, and finally we get a good primetime game, in my opinion. Like, there's been some okay ones, right? But this one is a good one. People want to see the 49ers versus the Cowboys. It brings you back to, like, the 90s football, right? The Steve Youngs, the Troy Aikmans of the world, the Emmitt Smiths, the Jerry Rices. This is what we want to see. We want to see these two teams matched up. And America wants to see the Cowboys lose. That's why 75% of us are picking the San Francisco 49ers and Christian McCaffrey to smash the Cowboys. Okay, smash is a little bit strong, Bradley. We'll just go with beat. Under pressure again. Dak Prescott's another one of those guys. When he's able to sit in the pocket, he's able to deliver strikes. When he's in rhythm, he's finding CeeDee Lamb out in the open. But when the play breaks down, which the San Francisco 49ers are one of the best, if not the best team in the league to do, under Steve Wilks, they're going to throw you off your game. I think they create a couple of turnovers. You're not going to slow this offense down. Christian McCaffrey's going to have a couple of touchdowns. Give me the 49ers. And with a couple of teams on the bye week, this is the final game. We're already talking about the final game. It's the Green Bay Packers versus the Las Vegas Raiders. This is another one of those games where you're like, is it really going to be that good? Devontae Adams, is he happy? Is it going to be Aiden O'Connell? Is it going to be Jimmy G? Jordan Love, how does he look so far? I think after week 1 and week 2, people are like, Jordan Love could be it. And after week 3 and 4, people are like, he's just going to be middle of the pack. Another loss against Detroit for the Green Bay Packers. Another loss in the AFC West for the Las Vegas Raiders. It's a story as old as time. Both of these teams have some major concerns they need to be worried about. For the Raiders, that defense isn't great outside of Max Crosby. For the Green Bay Packers, that defense just isn't great as a whole, except for maybe some good defensive back play. I like the Green Bay Packers. I like Devontae Adams a little bit more in this matchup. I think he's able to beat the defensive backs more than this offensive line is able to hold Max Crosby back and really slow down Jordan Love. For that, they're at home. Give me them as a winner, but it could change. That's going to do it for this video. I really do appreciate you watching, man. I just love talking football with you guys. If you drop it down in the comments, if you want to find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, find me wherever. I just want to talk about some of the games that are happening out there, man. I love talking football, and I love looking at matchups. Don't forget, if you are looking for player matchups, we talk about it every single week on our Friday video with our sleepers, studs, and stacks for the NFL slate for Draftkings. Put out more information on Patreon. And then if you want to play player props where you just pick players over, under, single game props, sign up for Vivid Picks down in the description below. They'll get you a bonus. They'll hook you up just for signing up and making your first deposit. Part of our partnership with them is that they are going to unlock some specials for you. Sign up and find out for yourself what it's going to be this week. Good. Give a thumbs up to the video if you made it this far. If you agree with anything I say, hit the thumbs up again. If you disagree, drop it in the comments and let me know where I went wrong. We are getting a little bit stronger, and I need to tell you my 3 all-access, all-in locks of the week. Number 1, give me the Indianapolis Colts and Anthony Richardson to beat the Tennessee Titans. Miami Dolphins are going to absolutely curb stomp the New York Giants. And I want to go back-to-back picks and take the New Orleans Saints to beat the New England Patriots. The Saints are going to win that one, but we're going to go down to the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one by more than a touchdown over the LA Rams. Again, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully next time I see you down in the comments and in the next video with All Access Sports.